are a few minutes ahead of schedule, but we do have Coach Rod Carey from Temple on the line. The Owls are 1-0 overall. They were idle last week. Temple is back in action Saturday at Lincoln Financial Field. They'll be playing Maryland. That will be at noon Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. Just give us your thoughts how your open week went as you get prepared for suddenly nationally ranked Maryland team in your stadium.
Yeah, thanks. No, it's good to be with you guys. Yeah, last week we made most of the week. We got out and recruited and got ahead on some things practice-wise and, development for our young guys and all those things. And, did what everybody does during a bye week. And then obviously got back in here yesterday and got to work after the game that Maryland played with Syracuse and tidied things up, and then just got off the practice field here this morning and ready to go. Obviously, we're excited about the game. It's another opportunity. You get 12 of these guaranteed, now 11 of them left. So this is the biggest one because it's the next one. So we're excited about it, and it was a good day of practice so far. I haven't watched it on film yet, but I liked kind of the attitude and the effort and the tempo we had to practice today.
Thanks, Coach. Before we go to questions, we just got the official word, the Temple at Buffalo game on the 21st. That's going to be a 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPNU, just for the Temple folks on the call, so we have that information. And with that, we'll open up to questions for Coach Carey. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
We'll go to Sean Pastor with Owls Daily.
Hey, Rod. You guys, 12 games on the schedule this year. You guys are playing 7 teams, including this week, that have a transfer starting at quarterback. I look at your history. I don't think that you ever have had a transfer come in. It's always been homegrown guys. I wonder if this day and age of transfers, whether there's still, an advantage, it helps to have a homegrown guy develop through years versus all these teams that now bring in transfers and they jump right in and start.
Yeah, I have no idea if you can make a blanket statement that it's better to be homegrown or better to have transfers. I think it comes down to each and every individual situation.
Okay. Separate sort of topic. Isaiah Wright, such a huge threat, right? One thing you notice, and maybe you saw this from that first game, whether it be punt return, running back, it seems like he's often, whether he's reversing field, dancing around, he's often seems to be looking for the home run. And I wonder if, as you looked at that first game and you look at his history, whether does he look for the home run too much, or is he, when you're returning, right? That's what you're a home run hitter, and you should be looking for that, all the time.
Yeah, I think each situation where he had the ball is a little different. Certainly, some of those times probably did dance too much, but other times probably necessary to get what he got. So again, I don't know that there's one thing that I'd lay down and say, Isaiah, you need to do this all the time, because when you're dealing with a special talent and a special athlete like that, who can change a game, that you got to coach him on the situations.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we'll go to Don Marcus with Baltimore Sun.
Yes, Coach. I'm just curious, when you're scouting, getting a first look at Maryland, obviously they're playing a lot different than they did last year. What's the first thing that pops out to you about their offense?
Well, the quarterback's playing at a high level right now. That's first thing that pops out. It's also the most obvious thing. But then they have really good skill around them, and their O-line is playing well. They're just executing at a high level. So that's the thing, as you dig into it. They're executing at a high level.
And just to follow up on that, when a player like Jackson comes in and can make the reads he is, how much does that enable their running game to get going against a team that's maybe trying to force them to pass?
Yeah, I think when you have any quarterback that can be a good decision maker, and he's not just a good decision maker, he's a talented guy, but you combine that talent with that decision making. Anytime you have that at quarterback, defenses are on their heels. And so that's certainly what you've seen the first 2 weeks on film. And like I said, he's executing at a high level.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next, we'll go to Donald Hunt, Philadelphia Tribune.
Coach Carey, how you doing?
Good, man. You?
I'm doing okay. What do you think of the Maryland defense? A lot of people have been talking about the offense, and rightly so, because they've been racking up a lot of points. But what are your thoughts on the defense here after 2 games?
Well, they're playing aggressive defense and really disruptive, and they have a lot of speed, and they have really good edge pressure, and their scheme's allowing them just to pin their ears back and come a lot in the pass game, and then in the run game they're swarming to the football. So obviously I think they've given up 20 points total in 2 games. I think that's the number. So I mean, they're doing a lot of good things on defense.
Yeah, and can you give your thoughts on Gardner, who got off to a really good start in terms of your running game over there at Temple, and had a really big game? And I remember him playing as a freshman, where I think he ran like 90-some yards from scrimmage, but he really got loose for you. Just like to get your thoughts on him, as this season started.
Jagger had a really good fall camp and parlayed that right into the first game, where the first thing for Jags, which was a major accomplishment, he was available all fall camp and has been the entire time. And when you practice, it's funny. It's the magical thing that happens is you get better. And he has, and he's gotten better. And really excited about him and Ray Davis, Ramon Davis, as well in there. Had a nice game and had a nice fall camp. And Dobbins is still one of those guys that's in the picture as well.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
You bet. Thanks, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we'll go to John Decarlo, alscoop.com.
Hey, Rod, how are you?
Good, man. You?
Good. Hey, I got on a couple minutes late. I'm sorry if you already answered this. Did you talk last week? You talked about Kenny Yeboah, and we're expecting to get him back. Has he kind of progressed, and you expecting him to play Saturday?
Yeah, so he's been practicing the last few days, and he was out there today. So he's practicing. Now the issue becomes, he's missed a lot of practice, so how rusty is he? So he's probably as healthy as we can get him in football, because obviously, no one's 100% in football season. But now it's a matter of knocking off the rust and seeing how quickly we can get him up and get him moving. And he looks good so far, but there's some rust, and it'll continue to knock off. He's a good football player, and certainly we'd love to have him out there on Saturday.
What kind of read are you getting from your guys? Because obviously you weren't at Temple last year, but them going down and winning a Big Ten game on the road at Maryland was kind of what got things turned around for them last year. Now it's obviously a big challenge. They're coming in after just putting up points in these first 2 weeks like a video game. They're coming to your place ranked. I know it's a different coach and some different schemes, but how have the guys kind of responded in game prep so far, just heading into what's going to be a really, really big game for you guys Saturday?
Well, I love the way they've attacked this week. They've attacked it as the most important thing because it's the next thing. And they were really workmanlike today and really had good tempo to them today in practice, moving in between drills and, executing for a Monday. Obviously this Monday was a little different than a normal Monday because we did have the weekend off, but I was really impressed with how they came out. So I don't know that I've been impressed with them, though, the whole time. So as far as their work, I said that even through spring, minus the spring game, I love the way these guys come to work. So that certainly carried over today.
Cool. Thanks, Rod.
You bet.
We'll return to Don Marcus, Baltimore Sun.
Yes, Coach, one more question about the offense. The way they're using the tight ends, Maryland in the past have not used the tight ends of late. The two guys that they play, I don't know if you were, I guess you're familiar with Mabry. How good are those two guys, and how dangerous can they be, both as blockers and receivers?
Yeah, we played Mayberry here the last couple of years because we played Buffalo when we were in the MAC when he was there. And he's a good football player. He can run routes, and he has gotten a lot better as his career has gone at blocking the point of attack and backside, and you see that on film. And the other kid, for as good as Mayberry runs, the other kid may run better. So I think they're doing exactly what they should be doing. Not that I'm telling them how to coach, but you got two players like that, you're going to use them. And they're certainly doing that, and certainly that jumps off the film to you.
Thank you.
You bet.
And do you have any final questions for Coach Carey, please? Star 1 on your telephone keypad, if so. Coach, appreciate your time today. Look forward to hearing from you once again next Monday.